Hiya, and welcome back to Promises to Keep. The game that teaches us that we're all on Theo's list, but it's a good list. Anyways, let's just hop right in. And I forgot what the save is. I think it's this. Maybe he's right. Wait, hang on. Let me make sure that this is actually it. Yep, this is it. All right. Should we do this? Does anyone here have epilepsy or sensitivity to flashing lights? Because I don't. I just want to make sure that no one here does. Okay, well, I'll feel bad, so no. Just to be safe. Welcome to Oliver version 1.0. Copyright 1994. Beginning boot sequence. Okay, checking BIOS. Okay, checking autonomic function. Okay, checking disk drives. Okay. Initializing cognition. Then checking self-perception. Warning, self-perception is at 150 capacity. Implementing public disguise. Hello, world. My name is Oliver. Disguise in place. Checking self-perception. Okay. Checking sensory modality. Loading light. Growing up, the sun always hurt my eyes. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna make a joke. The joke is, if you're going to call me an ass, be sure to add smart to the front and istant to the end. My way, or the take a left turn onto the highway. Growing up, the sun always hurt my eyes. Loading color. Checking visuospatial comprehension. Error. Visuospatial comprehension at 25%. Beginning adjustment. I'm useless without these. Adjustment complete. Checking visuospatial comprehension. Okay. Checking communications array. Okay. Beginning memory test. System processing. Attempting to run Ollie.exe. Beginning field test. Gathering data. Field test failure. Reanalyzing communications array. Operating at 75 capacity. Beginning adjustment. Attempting to run Ollie.exe. Repeating field test. Gathering data. Field test failure. Was it something I said? Reanalyzing communications array. Operating at 40% capacity. Beginning adjustment. Attempting to run Ollie.exe. Repeating field test. Gathering data. Field test failure. What is wrong with me? Oliver, we will do this until we get it right. Repeating field test. Gathering data, gathering data, gathering data. I don't understand. Warning, communications array offline. Field test failure. Warning, public disguise unraveling. I can't take this anymore. Warning, public disguise unraveling. Warning, public disguise unraveling. Warning, public disguise unraveling. It presses against my visor and cracks the glass, seeping steadily inside my eyes, my mind, my very soul. If I have to pretend to be normal for even a moment longer, I am going to break. I am going to snap. My nerves and tendons and ligaments, the fibrous wires holding up my shadowed form one by one, in a steady, violent collapse, they will gather around me again. They will stand in clipped uniform rows over my fractured, bent, backward body. And they still will not understand. The sound of breaking glass wrenches me awake. A fallen tree branch protrudes into the room like a cold metal claw, like a bundle of exposed cracking wires. I scramble to my paws and stand dumbly in the center of the room, staring at the unwelcome intruder. I see, but I do not comprehend. There's only the broken glass and the frigid air and the acrid stench of fried circuitry. My heart pounds. My heart aches. My paws shake and shiver, increasing in violence until they give way and I slump back onto the mattress. My limbs fold inward on themselves and I curl into a tight, painful ball, fighting wave after wave of nausea, my stuttering brain matter focused entirely on one goal. Keep my insides where they belong. I swallow a mouthful of bile, battery acid cascading up and down, up and down. My throat feels raw and torn, ripped asunder by a scream that rattled me to the core. I'm not sure how long I lie there, hunched and shivering, eyes wide and stiff, staring blankly at the floor, waiting for the room to stop spinning. It must have been at least a year. Nope, 10 years. Perhaps 20. Until finally there's room for thought, room for reason. I can still feel the urgent caress of the wires, sparking electric veins and arteries. Cold, voltaic fire surging through my flesh with each stagnant heartbeat. Wait, is Ollie a robot? I think I misunderstood that entire dream sequence. Yeah, it's probably a metaphor for the fact that he, I'm thinking he's neurodivergent. However, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like a metaphor for him being neurodivergent. Maybe I always will. Was it really just a dream? I flex my claws, digging ever so slightly into my fur. Soft pin pricks of pain grounding me, here, in this body. Ollie, is this really how you feel? Must have been so hard moving into a house with a bunch of strangers. No wonder he was so nervous, so jumpy.
Leo, are you?
Oh! With an inaudible crack, I shift my encrusted eyes upwards to the door just as the room is flooded with light. And there he is, gaze flicking rapidly between me and the branch and the window. After only a brief moment of hesitation, he runs to me first.
Leo, Leo, please tell me you're okay.
He drops to his knees next to my curled up form. His claws reach forward, stopping a few inches before they reach me.
You're not hurt, are you?
If I try to say anything out loud, I know I'm going to cry. Or vomit. Or both. Rigidly, I shake my head.
Oh, thank goodness.
His soft blue eyes sweep the room again, and he shifts into a sitting position, knees tucked up against his chest.
I couldn't sleep.
Lucky.
I was down by the kitchen getting a glass of water when I heard this awful noise. I guess it was a window.
His voice stabilizes as he speaks. I can tell he's focusing his effort into sounding calm.
I wanted to make sure you're alright. Sorry for barging in like that, but after that horrible noise when I knocked it and didn't get any answer right, I was just so worried.
All of a sudden, I realize my shaking has stopped. Or to be more accurate, I realize that up until this instant, I had been shaking this whole time. Try to move my limbs and find them once again within my control. Sit up stiffly, mirroring Ollie's posture, though I can't bring myself to meet his eyes. Not yet. If I do look directly at him, some raw, fearful part of me still expects to see wires, warnings, and a stark, flashing visor.
It must have been a terrible shock.
His words carry so much weight. It's almost like he knows what I saw. I nod. We sit in silence for a collection of long moments. I stare at the textured fabric covering my knees, unthinkingly tracing their wrinkles with my gaze. Ollie sits and waits. I sit and breathe. In and out. In and out, feeling my chest expand and contract, feeling the steadying pulse of my blood. Tissue and bone, not cold metal and rubber. Slowly but surely, I start to feel normal again, whatever that means.
Leo?
Yeah, he's an empath.
I think we should get out of here. It's freezing and there's glass all over the floor.
With a noticeable effort, he shifts back into his usual soft smile.
Will let me take you to the kitchen? It's nice and warm there. Please?
I nod.
Thank you, Leo. Can I have your paw?
Look up, meeting his eyes at last. Ollie's claws outstretched towards me, talons delicately splayed. His palm is smooth, softer than the back of his hand. He handles my paw gently, without even the barest scrape from his longest talons.
Let's go, okay?
Okay. My voice cracks. Let him pull me upright. My knees crack. Let him escort me out of the room. The door creaks on the way out. Our paws leave the muffled ripples on the carpeted floor. The silence feels almost alien, incorrect without the keening wind.
Here, maybe have a seat at the table?
Ollie pulls a chair out for me and I slide into it robotically.
I'm gonna get you a glass of water, too. You don't have to drink it, but it might be nice to have something simple to do with your paws.
I hear him fussing with the cabinets and in the sink, and in just a few moments he gently sets a full glass down in front of me.
Leo, I'm gonna give you a choice, okay?
The dino pulls out the chair next to me and sits, maneuvering his tail out of the way.
If you like, I can sit with you for a bit longer and give you some company. We don't even have to talk if you don't want to. Or, if you'd rather be alone for a while, I can go fetch Artie and we can start working on repairing the den.
Oh my god. The den. Shit! I completely forgot.
Leo, it's okay. It's okay. The rest of us can handle it. Alright?
But you...
Nope!
Ollie says cheerfully, shaking his head.
Don't apologize and don't insist on helping. Just tell me which of those two choices you prefer. I won't mind either way, I promise.
I'm moving the microphone down. I think I'd like some company, please.
Then company you shall have. Before we do anything else, though, I'm gonna call Artemis. Is it okay if he comes and meets us here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great.
Artemis answers only after 2 rings, and Ollie puts the phone up to his ear.
Hey, sorry for waking you up.
With a sharp spike of Artemis's voice on the other line, and Ollie's brow furrows.
No, it's not me this time, Artie. It's Leo. A huge branch crashed through the window of the den during the night. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I'm sitting with Leo now. You can come up and meet us in the kitchen if you want. Yes, I'm sure it's fine. Okay, see you in a minute.
Ollie hangs up and turns to me. Are we not telling Theo? I don't know.
Thanks for letting me call him up. I'm gonna be honest, I'm real nervous about telling Theo.
Theo.
But Artie always knows what to say. Sure, between the two of us, we can work this out nicely.
From out in the living room, we hear the sound of hurried footsteps, and then Artemis appears in the kitchen doorway. Here. Sorry it took so long.
That was literally like 15 seconds, but whatever.
Ignoring you. Hey, Leo. You alright? Artemis walks over to the two of us, looking me up and down worriedly. You were in the room when it happened, right? I'm okay. I can definitely help out however you need me to. My thin words ring hollow, and Artemis starts shaking his head before I can even finish my sentence. No, I don't think so. Totally unnecessary. You deserve a break after all that shit. Yeah. Theo is the warm one. Oh, I did? What are you talking about? No, I don't think so. Totally unnecessary. You deserve a break after all this shit. You mean like that? It's just an AI assistant impression. Okay, Despacito. I don't know the words. Ollie nods in approval. I just want to be part of your symphony. Will you hold me tight and not let go? Symphony. Like a love song on the radio. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Ollie nods in approval.
Agreed.
Unbidden, I feel a sharp spike of relief tinged with bitter guilt. I feel bad, but don't. No reason to. Theo and I can handle it.
Yep, and besides...
Ollie stops in the middle of a sentence.
Wait, what about me?
It's freezing in there, Ollie, and there's glass all over the floor, too. Artemis unknowingly echoes Ollie's words from earlier. Even his tone is the same. In a different instance, I would laugh at their similarity. I do it all by myself, but it's Theo's house, and he'd have a fit if he found out and kept it a secret.
And why exactly do you have to do it all yourself? I am capable of helping you, no.
Well, Ollie, you have noodle arms. Your arms are spaghetti. Your spaghetti arms will snap, crackle, and pop. I know that, Ollie, but it's just... The bird scrambles for a few moments, looking for the right response. You are helping by keeping Leo company. Artemis looks at me with a sort of, help me out here expression. Ollie's a goober. Artemis is a bird. Rofi is just a can of Fanta. My head starts to throb again.
Artemis, don't put pressure on Leo. Does it make any sense to...
Sorry, you two, but I hold up one paw to interrupt, massaging my temples with the other. Can we not do this now? My head hurts. Both Ollie and Artemis immediately drop their gaze, eyes full of remorse. Sorry. Look, how about this? Ollie, you stay and keep me company. Artemis, you wake up Hunter and Rofi along with Theo. Both Ollie and Artemis put a claw up to their face in a humorously similar thinking pose.
That's a very good compromise.
Yeah, gonna have to agree with you there.
Honestly, having the other two boys on your side will probably help wrangling Theo.
Artemis nods slowly. Probably. I expect you'll be plenty upset.
Yeah, definitely. But you know you can call me for support if you need.
Yeah, I know that, Ollie. Thanks. The bird turns to me and stuffs his talons in his pockets. We're gonna take care of things, I promise. And the first thing I'm gonna do is get all your stuff out of that room so it doesn't get wrecked by the snow. If I were you, I would try to get some sleep. We'll see about that. I'm not sure if I'll ever sleep again.
Leo, do you want to maybe come up to my room? Just so we'll be out of the way.
That sounds like a good plan to me. Artemis chirps, a slight twinkle in his eye. Sure, it's nice and comfy up there.
Great!
We all have our marching orders. 1, 2, 3, break! Ollie and I break off at the door to his room, waving one last time to Artemis before ducking inside. The room is as cozy as I remember, illuminated only by the bedside lamp and the soft RGB lights on Ollie's PC.
Please make yourself comfortable, wherever you'd like to sit.
My eyes keep drifting to the fluffy-looking pillows on the warm, soft bed.
Take the bed if you want. We don't have to hang out or anything. You're totally free to just sleep until morning.
I curl up against the headboard, adjusting the pillows underneath my shoulders and back. We'll see what happens, I guess. And this is how we die. Ollie turns the computer chair around and settles into it, one leg up on the cushion, one foot on the floor.
I love this little room. My room back at home is honestly too big, and I don't even use half of the space. I love being right next to the heat.
Ollie pats the gently humming radiator next to the desk.
Let me know if it's too hot for you, and I'll see what I can do.
It's fine, Ollie. Please don't worry. No sooner do the words escape my lips than his face creases with worry once more.
Are you feeling a little better now? Now that you're out of that room?
Yeah, a little.
I know I already said this, but it was honestly a pretty scary sight.
Ollie's voice once again takes on that distant, detached quality, like someone else is speaking through him.
Walking into a blast of cold wind, seeing the broken window,
The branch, and you curled up on the mattress like that. Your arms were clenched so tightly, it looked like you were trying to hold yourself together.
I thought you were hurt. How did it hit you on the way in, or you gotten struck by falling glass, or...
As he speaks, his voice steadily shrinks until it's barely a whisper.
I was frightened. And it seemed like you were too. Or maybe not frightened, but something similar.
Yeah, something similar.
Did something else happen? Besides the window, I mean. You don't have to tell me, but if it's something I can help with, I'd like to.
How do I even begin to explain? How can I? And what could he possibly do to help?
Even if there's nothing I can actively do for you, sometimes just talking about it is all you need.
Ollie chirps softly as if reading my thoughts. My voice cracks and I swallow laboriously. I had a nightmare.
I see. Do you want to tell me about it?
No. Sorry, but no.
That's fine. But if you ever change your mind, I'm here for you.
Thank you, Ollie. Seriously.
Of course.
He pulls his phone out of his pocket but doesn't unlock it. He just spins it between his claws. For a long moment, he hesitates, and then the words begin to spill out of him in a flood.
I hope I wasn't too rough or insistent with you earlier. I tried my best to give you options and let you have your space, and...
You were amazing, Ollie. You gave me exactly what I needed.
I'm glad. I mean... I just treated you the way I wish people would treat me. I'm sorry I keep bringing it up, but the way you looked at me when you first came in, that wound up in a tight ball shaking, your eyes shining up at me from between your claws, recognize that look immediately. Or at least I think I did. Honestly, it's how I feel a lot of the time. And when I get that way, I feel like...
Ollie's eyes flick around the room and he begins to scratch at his feathered crest nervously.
Everyone just starts to freak out. They just start making more and more noise, which is the last fucking thing I need in that situation. People always act like I'm spaced out,
or about to faint, or something. And they try to shake me awake. When the problem is that I'm... too awake. Too aware. And every single noise, every single shake, every atom of their body... in contact with every atom of mine.
I feel it all so sharply. I know I did freak out a little at first when I saw you, and I'm sorry about that. But once I realized you were awake and unhurt, I figured you might want to just sit for a minute.
Remember how his claws stopped an inch from my body, how he readjusted himself, drawing back but staying close.
Wait for things to feel normal again.
Yes. He relaxes visibly at the sound of my voice.
So I did the right thing?
Yes.
And you tell me if I didn't, right?
Yes, I would.
Okay, good.
He understands. I guess that isn't really a surprise. Ollie always seems to understand.
Oh!
The dino snaps a claw, interrupting the static in my brain.
You said your head hurt earlier, right?
He immediately jumps off his chair and starts rummaging in one of his bags. He immediately jumps off his... Yeah, can see his big tail sliding gently across the floor, back and forth as he searches.
Here.
He holds out a small plastic bottle.
Let's take ibuprofen together.
I guess we're taking ibuprofen. Let's take ibuprofen together.
Let's take ibuprofen together.
I snort out an ugly laugh, something resembling a smile spreading across my face. Grab the bottle from him with a grateful nod.
I've got some cans of seltzer up here if you want something to take it with, too.
What do you mean, if?
Don't
tell me you dry swallow pills. That's so bad for you. I feel called the fuck out. I feel called the fuck out. Yeah. That's why I feel called the fuck out. I mean, obviously, if my throat feels dry, then I will drink water. It doesn't cross my mind that it's dangerous.
Okay, I won't tell you I swallow pills. Because that would be bad. Anyway, let me just find those cans.
Ollie jumps up again to do another search. Yeah. My eyes lingering on his feathered crest. The way it shifts as he moves, the way it catches the dim light of the room.
Here you go. It's pomegranate flavored. I hope that's okay. Obviously, you can have the whole thing if you want.
Doesn't change the fact that I still feel called the fuck out. We're taking ibuprofen together. Drugs. We have drugs. Thanks, Ollie. I pop 2 pills and wash them down quickly, setting the remainder of the can on the bedside table.
Fun fact, my family used to call it spicy water. You have to try really hard to remember that. Nobody else knows what that means.
Wait. I love that.
Right? We had a lot of weird names for stuff. We had so many I can't even think of most of them. It was like we had our own dialect.
Ollie opens another can of spicy water and pops 2 pills as well, looking pointedly at me the whole time.
We're definitely going to enjoy a Leckfist. See, I'm doing what I'm supposed to.
There's a novelty. The dino giggles, pulling both legs up onto the chair cushion.
Yep, you know me, always breaking the rules. I'm just so impulsive and rebellious, I can't help myself. God, I can't say that with a straight face! I literally can't even jaywalk without feeling bad.
Okay, well, jaywalking is not a crime. It is, in fact, cool and normal.
Until you get hit by a truck.
Nope, if a truck tries to hit me, I would simply dodge roll. Anyway, to be brutally honest, if I got hit by a truck, that would solve a lot of my financial problems. Ollie lets loose with another fit of giggles, covering his mouth entirely with a claw.
When this is all over, let's go get hit by a truck together.
Yay, we're gonna get bitch smacked by Truck Coon. Absolutely. As soon as the roads open up again. I laugh then. And it feels genuine. Moment by moment, I'm shaking off the dream.
I'm only joking, of course. Artemis would never let me get hit by a truck.
Never lets you do anything fun, huh?
Pretty much. I'm sorry about the little spat we had in the kitchen earlier. I know it wasn't a good time for it.
Remember Ollie's irritation yesterday when the power went out? You're right, he's very protective of you.
Extremely, even when I don't need or want it.
Ollie's tone is only slightly bitter, annoyed more than actually upset.
But also, you know, sometimes I'm really not sure what I need or want. And then it's nice. Just to have someone I know will be on my side. Someone I know will make good decisions for me. And the rest of the time, I just have to argue with him a little. To be honest, I think he feels the same way about me. He'll come to me in serious situations and ask my advice too. And I like when he does that. It makes me feel like he truly values my opinion. Which is not something I'm used to. Sometimes I feel like everybody is too busy babying me to actually listen to anything I say.
Even through the thick hoodie pocket, I can see him fiddling with its claws.
Whenever Oliver opens his mouth, it's just another problem that they have to solve. I can see the exasperation in their eyes before I can even finish my sentence.
Let his words hang in the air for a few moments, gently waiting for him to continue. And when he doesn't, I softly say, I listen to you, Ollie. I promise.
And I appreciate that more than you know.
Ollie, can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to make sure that you're still okay with me calling you Ollie. He laughs softly, picking out one of his claws.
Yes, I still am.
Notice that everyone else has been calling you Ollie, too.
Yes, they are.
And that's still fine?
Yes, I think it is. I was so anxious about it at first. I'm just not good at meeting people. At work, everyone calls me Oliver, and work is almost always how I meet new people, so that's how I introduce myself. It's my adult name, my professional name, and I always feel like I need one of those since I'm getting so old.
What? Huh? You went to college with Artemis, right? So you can't be that old.
Well, I guess.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
That is a lot younger than I thought. Like, I genuinely thought he was only going to be, like, what, 21? 27 is young, but when he said...
Well, I'm actually kind of old.
I thought he was whole ass going to say...
You see, I am actually
56 or some shit. Whole ass thought he was going to say, like, 56 or something. He got the glorious skincare. His skincare routine is very demure, very mindful. I know. Ollie, you're only 1 year older than me. Oh shit, Leo's 26. Huh.
Listen, I'm not saying you're old or anything. I am older than you, and I just feel really old.
Ollie becomes a whirlwind of flailing arms and claws, desperately trying to explain himself. Ollie, listen. 27 is not old. 26 is not old. And I genuinely thought he was going to say that he was like 56 or some shit. I genuinely thought he was. But he didn't. You are literally, objectively not old.
I know. But...
If you don't think I'm old, then you shouldn't feel old. Fair? Oh god, what does that say about me? Because I'm 21 and I feel old. I actually feel old. I'm only 21. Fucking... little story time. I was in public once, and this one kid, he was all like, oh my god, Dad, you know that I'm fucking 7 or some shit. And I was like, oh! Then he whole ass said that he was born in 2015, and I felt so fucking old. I felt so old. You just have more cells than you did 1 year ago? Gee, thanks. Now I'm the enemy of Season 5 Dragon Ball Z. Gee, thanks. I'm just kidding.
Fair.
Ollie picks out his claws again.
I'm just not taking it very well, that's all. The slow funeral march to 30. I know people hate it when you say that, it's how I feel.
Don't let Theo catch you talking like that.
Oh god, never! But I guess overall I never mind when you call me Ollie because you put me so at ease, Leo. I've never opened up to anyone this quickly. Well, except for Artemis, of course. He's special.
I can see what you mean.
Good, cause he and I are gonna stick together forever.
I almost laugh at the sincere way Ollie says such a childish line, but something stops me. He clearly believes it, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Without meaning to, I yawn loudly, covering my mouth and settling deeper into the pillows. Sorry, Ollie, but I'm fading fast here.
I can see that. You go sleep wherever you like.
My eyelids feel so heavy. But what about you?
Don't you worry about me. You've had quite a shock tonight. You deserve to rest. And if you want to wake up again before sunrise, I'll be here for you.
The room begins to fade into soft, gentle darkness. And we're dead. Good night, Ollie.
Good night, Leo.
In what feels like an instant, I return to the world. I pinch myself once, hard on the back of my paw. Ow! Definitely not a dream. The sunlight filters softly through the blinds, gently caressing my adjusting eyes. I shift slightly in the bed, stretching my stiff legs and arms. My joints snap, crackle, and pop. What did Ollie say about the slow funeral march to 30? I don't know, like, my joints sometimes snap, crackle, and pop. I sit up against the headboard and take in the room. The dino himself is nowhere to be found, but I spy a single post-it note stuck on the bedside table, alongside a toasted bagel with butter and a tall glass of orange juice. Went downstairs for lunch. Ollie, heart. Little heart looks drawn over the indents in the paper, like he struggled to get it exactly right. What a sweet boy. Wait a minute. Lunch? Search the blankets for my phone and check the time. 3:30 p.m. I've slept most of the day away. I stretch again, arching my back and rolling my neck, chasing away the stiffness of slumber away. I think I needed this more than I realized. My stomach grumbles, grumpily reminding me of something else I need. I turn to the bagel with abandon, doing my best to keep crumbs out of Ollie's bed. It's a little stale from sitting out so long, but I hardly even notice. Taking a long gulp of the sweet tart juice, I adjust the blinds, letting more of the sparkling daylight into the room. It is still snowing, but lighter than before, and the bright white blanket amplifies the watery sun struggling to break through the clouds. As my senses adjust to the waking world, I hear distinct voices and sounds coming from the old radio next to the computer desk. The voices are too muffled to hear what they're saying, but I recognize Ollie and Rofi, along with the clattering of dishes and the running of the sink. The gentle noises must travel up through the heating system. That's kind of nice, actually. Even if you stay in this little bedroom, you can still keep track of the goings-on happening in the house. I'm beginning to see why Ollie likes it up here. As if on cue, the sound of his soft, tinkling laughter floats up through the radiator. Ugh, I love his little laugh. I don't know how to feel. Okay, Leo, let's go rejoin society. Take a moment to gather myself, slipping my phone into my pocket and devouring the last of the bagel. Maybe there's still time for me to help with lunch. Not they'll let me, but at least I can offer. After one final deep breath, I twist the handle and pull open the door. The upstairs hallway is quiet, and all the doors are shut. Maybe not the last one awake after all? Unlikely. I gently pad down the stairs and head towards the kitchen. And there they are. Leo! You're awake! Before I can answer him, the dog hits me with a flying hug. I am for now, but another one of those hugs might knock me out again. Over the top of Rofi's fluffy head, I can see Ollie holding back a giggle. He looks happy, if a little tired, clutching a steaming mug of coffee. Probably not his first of the day. Rofi pulls away and gives me the once-over, clearly checking to see if I'm hurt. Must have heard about last night. I was starting to get a little worried, that's all. Did it sleep well? Like a rock. I guess some things never change, huh? Anyway, come here, have a seat, let's get you some lunch. I can help if you need. No. That'd not be necessary. Ollie and I already took care of it.
It's nothing fancy, just grilled cheese and tomato soup, but it's always been one of my favorite winter meals, so...
My stomach growls again, heedless of its earlier conquests. That sounds perfect, actually. Then sit! Let me pamper you a little, okay? Me? Oh! Truly the most orange to ever orange. Please? The realization when you realize that they're the same age and Rofi's also 26. That moment when you realize. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Please? Okay, I'll sit, but only if you two sit with me. Deal?
Of course.
Ollie lumps another spoonful of sugar into his mug while Rofi busies himself with the soup. Immediately after I settle into one of the chairs, the savory smell hits me like one of Rofi's hugs. It's gonna be so good. I'm so excited! You should be. I've had a ton already, and it's delicious. That doesn't surprise me at all.
What doesn't? That it's delicious or that he's already had a ton?
Both. Hilarious, Leo! Wait. What breed of dog is Rofi? Like, what breed is he? Fanta? He's just a Fanta? Okay, he's just a can of Fanta. Got it. In all honesty, I actually think he's like a shepherd of some kind. A Fanta shepherd. Thank you. I turn to Ollie. And thank you for breakfast, Ollie. The dino looks up from his phone with a gentle smile.
I wasn't sure when you'd wake or how hungry you'd be, so I kept it simple.
It was perfect.
Good, I'm glad.
Ta-da! Here's some breakfast! I'm taking off my headphones because my ears hurt. None in reality. The dog sets a steaming bowl of savory soup in front of me, along with a crispy grilled cheese on a little plate. Your food, sir! Thank you, sir.
Oh, I forgot to ask, Leo, would you like a cup of coffee?
It's the grilled Fanta. No, it's hot bean juice. Yes, actually, I think I need one. Ollie nods, rising from his chair again.
Rofi?
No, thank you. I don't drink coffee. I drink Fanta.
I didn't think so.
That's fucking Fanta. Yeah, can you imagine this guy after a shot of espresso?
A truly frightening thought.
Wow, you two are full of them today, huh? Laughing, Ollie heads back over to the coffee machine, grabbing me a mug on the way. And soon I have a hot cup of fresh coffee to go with my delicious meal. What excellent service. We try our best. coffee, then... Lug, I don't think you're drinking coffee right. I don't think coffee's supposed to be grainy. Yeah, coffee isn't supposed to be grainy. Yeah, I don't think you're making your coffee... I don't think you're drinking coffee. I think you're drinking sand. Like, genuinely. We try our best. Have you been pouring the coffee grounds directly into the water? And stirring it and mixing it that way? Have you been doing that? Because that is a sin against God. Lug. Be honest. No! Oh my God. No. That is not how you make coffee. You filter it. You filter it. Oh my God. What you do is you take the coffee grounds, put it in a filter, put it in a coffee filter, and then pour hot water through it. Oh please, Lug doesn't have bones. That is how you make coffee. Oh my God. I am actually impressed. Like, I cannot be mad. You do know pre-ground coffee exists, right? Oh my God. I am more impressed than anything else. I am more impressed than anything else. I'm gonna make coffee later tonight. Do you want me to personally teach you how to make coffee? Because I fucking will. I will do so later tonight. Oh my God. Just don't get coffee beans, get coffee grounds. Those exist. You can buy them literally everywhere. Just don't get Folgers or something. I don't know. We try our best. After a few hearty sips, I asked the main question on my mind. So, how are things with the den?
Pretty much settled, right, Mofi?
Yeah, between the five of us, we were able to clean things up pretty quickly. Think once again of the glass-strewn floor and the ripped chair cushions. It's kind of surprising you guys even fixed the window. Mostly. Would have had some plywood at his place that he let us borrow. Though Theo did say that you probably shouldn't sleep there. The den doesn't hold heat well anymore. Oh. Well, that's okay. But I can help you move your stuff wherever you'd like. Just let me know.
You're more than welcome to stay in my room, Leo.
Ollie speaks up, turning slightly red. To be honest, I hadn't even considered moving anywhere else. That little room was so cozy and comfy, and Ollie was there. If you don't mind, then yes, I'd like to.
I don't mind at all.
Rofi's warm blue eyes sweep over the two of us. Then I guess it's settled! care of the air mattress. Ollie, would you mind getting Leo's bags?
I can do that.
Hey, whoa, hold on a minute. I haven't started eating. Rofi Freeze is already halfway out of his chair. We can all just chill for a minute, yeah? And then once I'm done eating, I can help carry stuff upstairs. Okay. So, get a load of this. Me and Ollie were talking, right? And turns out he makes some of the software I use at work.
I mean, it's not like I made it myself. I'm just one of the programmers.
Still, though, isn't that neat? What did you say earlier, Ollie? I thought it was really profound. Ollie needs his claws together, looking more embarrassed by the second.
Well.
Rofi and I wait patiently, the silence interrupted by the clack of my spoon.
I think it was something like, we're all more interconnected.
Than we realize.
Today's world can feel so isolating despite, or maybe because of the ubiquity of technology. But even if it's through work or through a friend of a friend, we as a people are still linked to one another. Those threads are still there even if they've just become harder to see. Or something like that.
I think you're totally correct. Those threads are still there. Even if we lose track of them, sometimes they're just waiting for you to pick them back up. Right, Leo? A gentle warmth blossoms in my chest. Right. This is really cheesy, but despite everything that's happened lately, glad to be sitting here at this table with you two.
Me too.
Me three! Honestly, we lucked out. I'm not sure there's any other people in the world I'd rather spend this time with. Rofi looks at me then with those wide blue eyes. Reminded of summer evenings, looking into those same eyes, hearing the same voice speak similar words. You know what Rofi sounds like when he's being sincere? He means it. I can tell he really means it. The sweet moment is only slightly undercut by Rofi attempting to steal the last bite of grilled cheese off my plate. With a practice movement perfected years ago, I swat his paw away. Hey! Ollie's bright laughter fills the air once again, and the warmth in my chest heightens. You three are so sweet. Theo's deep, unmistakable voice echoes from the doorway. Hope you don't mind me saying that. If anything, I'm the one who lucked out. I know it's selfish of me to say this, but having you all come stay with me has been the highlight of my year. Aw, Theo! We can come back to visit any time, you know. Ollie nods.
The city doesn't even have to shut down. We can just come over for dinner.
That sounds grand, and we'll see what else decides to crash through the window. The joke rolls off his tongue with surprising ease. I expected him to be way more upset about it. Speaking of, good afternoon, Leo. How are you feeling after last night? Afternoon, Theo. I'm doing much better. Much, much better. Like night and day. I presume Rofi filled you in on your sleeping situation, right? Yeah, it's no big deal. I'm gonna stay with Ollie in his room. Theo nods a twinkle in his eye. I thought you might. Why does everyone keep saying stuff like that? Alright then, let's get your room all set up. Again. Unless you'd rather finish lunch first. Nope, I'm all done. Let's do it. As expected, I end up carrying nothing. Theo grabs the already deflated air mattress, and Rofi and Ollie snap up my bags before I can protest. I could get used to this if I'm not careful. Just like the first day here at Theo's house, we all crowd into Ollie's room. Theo starts setting up the air mattress while Ollie makes space for my stuff. Where do you want this bag, Leo? Rofi holds up my toiletries bag. You know what? You can just give that to me. I think I'd like to take a shower. Oh, Thor! He hands me the bag with a sly expression. I guess cats don't really clean themselves with their tongues after all. On the other side of the room, Theo lets out a cough. Clearly a poorly disguised bark of laughter. No, we do not. And you know that already. Just a little joke. Hilarious, Rofi. I say, mirroring his words from earlier. Thank you. I do my best. Enjoy a shower, Leo. Grumbling good-naturedly, I grab a change of clothes and head towards the upstairs bathroom, playfully slamming the door behind me. Naturally, after making my silly, dramatic little exit, I see that the door to the said bathroom is currently closed. Figures. Step forward intending to knock when it suddenly opens and Hunter steps out. His usually chipper face is so drawn and empty that it catches me fully off guard. Heavy pause lasts only an instant. Oh, hey, Leo, how you doing? Sorry, I'm all done in there if you need it. Yeah, I was gonna take a shower. Yeah, right ahead, it's real nice and the water pressure here is great. His usual tone is back in full force. If I hadn't seen his expression just moments ago, Thought everything was totally normal. You okay, Hunter? Me? It's you I'm worried about. That old business with the window was nasty. Yes, it was pretty upsetting. But I'm much better now. I just needed a good night's sleep and a hot meal. Well, hey, that's great to hear. Hunter moves to lean against the doorframe and winces sharply, quickly readjusting himself. Well, don't let me keep you. Enjoy the shower, okay? We'll talk later, I promise. He gives me a pat on the shoulder and wasks. He gives me a pat on the shoulder and walks briskly back to his room, shutting the door behind him. And just like that, I'm alone in the hallway. Considerably more confused than I was 30 seconds ago. I guess I'll get the hot water running. The shower is nothing short of luxurious. Large, comfortable, and clean. The water turns hot at once, and I think whatever gods exist for good water pressure. Crank up the heat and step inside, sighing as it hits my still stiff shoulders. Under the steady streaming spray, I can feel the final clinging terrors of the previous night wash away and flood down the drain. I stay in there for a while, not even bothering to check the time until the room is thick with mist. For once, my mind is perfectly still. If only it would stay that way forever. No such luck. One of the great sorrows of life is that you eventually have to get out of the shower. As the last few drops drip down from the shower head, I think of Ollie. Think about the fact that I'm moving into his room. Not even 3 days after meeting him. Said he had never warmed up to someone as quickly as me. The opposite was true as well. Never before in my entire life have I met anyone like him. As I pull the shower curtain back, I remember the feel of his rough, scaly hand and the soft, supple palm underneath. I remember the delicate way he held my paw and the slightest, barest touch of his talons. His soft, blushing face. His robin's egg eyes behind those thick frames. A small, ink-drawn heart etched with care into a post-it.
You put me so at ease, Leo.
I vigorously towel off my thick fur, throw on some fresh clothes, and step back out into the hall. When I re-enter his room, I find him waiting for me.
Hey.
He looks up from his jam-packed computer screen and gives me a small wave. Hey, what you up to?
Just getting my dailies. I can stop, though, if you want.
Nah, you're fine. I'd appreciate a chance to just sit and scroll for a bit.
Cool.
He gestures at the bed.
You can take your old seat again if you like. I won't need it until it's time for bed, after all.
I think I'll take you up on that, thanks. I settle once more into the now familiar cushions and pull out my phone. For all the noise and conversation of the day, a little scrolling is just what the doctor ordered. Our parallel play lasts for quite a while. Until the last straggling sun rays fade and night falls once again over the frozen city. Eventually both of our phones buzz. It's Hunter from the group chat, a silly selfie with a plate of pasta. It's dinner time, folks, if you're interested. Look up at Ollie right as he does the same. You interested?
Not really.
Me neither.
I figured I'd snack tonight or just sleep through till breakfast.
I stare at Hunter's selfie. His smile is warm and easygoing. Hey, Ollie? Is Hunter okay? Turns away from the computer screen and rubs his chin thoughtfully.
I'm not sure. Artemis told me he hurt his arm helping Theo move the branch. He was real quick to deny it, but seems like something shifted in him then. I heard Rofi gave him a quick checkup, but I don't know what he found, if anything. Artemis didn't want to pry.
That's fair.
What makes you ask?
Quickly relate the story of meeting Hunter in the hall earlier.
Honestly, I've noticed that too. Just in little moments here and there when he thinks no one is looking. That smile of his falls right off his face. It's not that it's weird to not smile, of course. But the gregarious way he throws up the veneer again once he notices someone is watching.
Ollie shakes his head.
I'm probably overthinking it, but there's just quite a difference between those two Hunters.
I think of the dull blankness behind those golden eyes and how quickly startlingly they lit up. I know what you mean. We sit in silence for a minute, phone and games forgotten. What about Theo? He seemed very cheery earlier today. Looks like he's taking all of this well.
Yes, better than Artie and I thought he would. At first he was pretty frazzled, but I think after having the other 3 boys there kept him anchored. I'm really glad you suggested waking them up.
I I scratched the back of my head, embarrassed. In all honesty, my head felt like it was caving in and I just wanted the conversation to be over.
Well, we need to shut up anyway, and it was a great idea. One that neither of us would have had on our own. Would have been too anxious to even knock on their doors, and Artemis thinks he can do literally everything by himself.
That does sound about right.
And of course, Rofi and his medical training were a huge help. But a lot better about the whole thing knowing he was there. He's pretty impressive overall. I don't think I could ever do the kind of work that he does. Seems so light and airy whenever he's with us, but I can clearly picture him in the emergency room fully locked in. I wouldn't. If anything ever happened on my watch, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself. I wouldn't be able to bounce back.
I'm not sure I'd be able to either.
But anyway.
Ollie shakes off the thought.
I can see why you two are such good friends. You fit well together despite how different you are.
You think so?
Yes. The easy groove you slip into whenever you talk. The fun little ways you poke at each other.
We just have a lot of practice, I guess. Though I gotta admit, I was surprised at how easily we picked it back up.
Like you were never apart?
Yeah.
Reminds me of me and Artemis a little. But I think the two of us are way more similar than you and Rofi are. And of course we weren't childhood friends. I'm pretty sure we would have hated each other as kids, though Artie doesn't agree. God, we met when we did. It was right on time.
We fall into a comfortable silence once more. Much longer one this time. Punctuated only by the quiet hum of the wind and the quieter hum of Ollie's computer.
Leo, can I ask you a question? You can let me know if it's too big or too abstract.
Of course.
Do you think everything happens for a reason?
I'd like to think so, yes. I'd like to think there's some meaning in all the chaos. Some explanation for all the miracles and tragedies that happen every other day. It's better than the alternative. Ollie nods contemplatively, clearly deep in thought. Why do you ask?
Sorry.
A shadow passes over his face and the dino drops his gaze, claws twitching fiercely.
I know big silly questions like that can be off-putting. People don't usually like when I bring them up, but I just...
In his downcast eyes, I can see a parade of dark scribbled-out faces, one by one scornfully turning their backs.
When it's 3 in the morning and I can't sleep, these are the things I think about. They seem important, you know? Like, why else are we here if we don't wonder about things like this? If we never look beyond what's right in front of our nose, are we really living?
He casts a wistful, anxious eye over his computer setup.
If, from the moment we're born, we never leave our house, we think our house is the whole world.
Ollie quietly rises from his chair to stand at the window. With irreverent serenity, he places his palm on the frozen glass.
Especially in weather like this, when all the world slows to a crawl and is safe for falling snowflakes, the very air is still. This, more than anything, feels like a time to reflect.
He hesitates, teetering on the inflection point, a light push away from opening up, or retreating inward again. I'm listening, Ollie. Ask away.
Okay. Do you have any memories from when you were a baby?
No. No, I don't remember a thing.
Do you wish you did?
No, not really.
Do you feel like having those memories would somehow change the person you are now?
Probably not. I can't imagine they would. The life I led and the choices I made would still be the same.
Sometimes I think we are born with this incredible simplicity. Hunger. We hunger, we thirst, we feel comfort and pain and all the things in between. And we feel love. We feel it in the way we are held and in the way we try to hold. The way we use our little fingers to hold on to whatever we can. And there are no thoughts attached to those feelings, no complex motivations or ambitions. Feels like we lose that simplicity so quickly. It feels like we lose it before we're even capable of comprehending loss. And in no time at all, we are fully grown adults. We still hunger, we still thirst, we still feel comfort and pain. And love. But now all those feelings are wrapped up in thoughts and obsessions and compulsions and expectations. And sometimes those thoughts get so loud and so insistent that we won't eat when we're hungry. We can't feel comfort for all the pain. We won't love because we're scared. Our hands are larger and stronger now. We are far more capable of holding on, but we choose to let go. Sometimes I think we would all be better off if we stayed so simple forever. What do you think?
Gee, thanks for the existential crisis. I really appreciate it. Fucker has me reflecting on my entire life. You know, like, I see the appeal. However, those things make us who we are. Our life experiences make us who we are as people. You are not your circumstances. You are only a product of them. That's it. You're just a product of circumstance. You're not your circumstance. It is better to learn from your mistakes than it is to never make mistakes.
I understand. Would you say you are a happy person?
Okay, he's about to fucking make me break. What the fuck? Ollie's really describing escapism. You know what? I'm just going to answer based on my own life experiences.
No, huh?
Yeah, no.
Me neither.
Why not?
Well, lots of reasons, really. Overall, it's pretty simple. If you think of my mood and outlook as a set of scales, it's just that one side is weighed down more. Sorry, that metaphor made a lot more sense in my head. Let me see if I can explain what I meant there.
No, I think I got it. If the scales are tipped one way, you're happy.
And if they're tipped the other way, I'm sad. Well, unhappy, maybe not sad. People tend to treat happy and sad as opposites when I'm not convinced they actually are. But regardless, it just feels like my particular set of scales is broken. Like I can pile tremendous weight on the right side and it'll still lean to the left. So, when your scales are tipped the wrong way, what motivates you to keep going?
Ollie? That is called depression. this is the kind of thing that I do think about every day. When I'm alone, I do end up thinking about it. The correct answer is all of them, but for me personally, it would be hope for the future, because I genuinely hope that the future is good. I hope it is, and in all honesty, that's what gets me out of bed. The thought that the future just could be better than the present. But eventually you get to the future, and it's not everything you hoped it would be. Hope. Hope that everything will turn out alright in the end. That I'll live to see the dawn of a brighter day.
Sad stories with happy endings.
Exactly. What about you, Ollie? Where does your motivation come from?
That's a tough one. I'm not always sure. Most of the time I think it's my anxiety.
In all honesty, I'm just going to explain this. I got my understanding from the meaning of life from The Amazing World of Gumball. That show will bitch slap you across the face with a life lesson, and then the very next episode, literally 30 seconds later, it'll make a nipple joke. 30 seconds later, bitch slap you across the face with the most profound thing you have ever heard, and then make another nipple joke out of it. And to quote it, life is not about the destination, but about the journey and making friends along the way. Life is simply about finding your own way to enjoy it. So just enjoy your life. The only reason I have a goal is, quite honestly, the only reason I have a goal is due to trauma. However, you don't need a goal to be able to live a good life. Just enjoy it.
Most of the time I think it's my anxiety. Oftentimes I have just so many urgent thoughts and emotions that need addressing right this very moment. There's no time or room for apathy. But when that fades and those rare moments where my anxious brain is silent, I see potential. Everywhere, I see what the world could be, and I want to live long enough to see a blossom. Like flowers rising up from the snow. With that in mind, do you think you're capable of great things?
That is not an easy question to answer. Exactly. I believe that everyone is capable of great things. However, my mind is making me think realistically. But, yeah.
Why do you think that?
everyone is capable of great things. No matter your circumstances. And honestly, what does great mean anyway? Being famous, making lots of money, amassing influence and power? Being a great world leader usually just means you have the biggest army at your disposal. No, I don't think doing any of that makes you great. I think being great means having the most positive effect possible on the largest number of people. Which means everyone can do it. It's not easy, but even one person can change the world. Ollie, do you think you are capable of great things?
Not particularly. I'm never going to be some big shot professional whatever. Never some captain of industry or world-altering philanthropist. I just don't have the drive. I don't have that spark that pushes people like that forward. Well, usually it's generational wealth that makes captains of industry and big shot professionals, but I digress. Given my many shortcomings, I think the most that I am capable of is modest success. Years of working a quiet, steady job and then a simple, decent retirement. If I live that long.
That doesn't sound too bad for me. Too bad to me.
No, me neither. I think people's answers to that question are incredibly interesting, mainly to gauge their definition of greatness. Whether it means money, fame, power, influence, beauty, knowledge, wisdom. This next question may seem unrelated, but... do you think the world we live in is fair?
It, in all honesty, isn't. No, not at all. Not even a little bit. How often in life do we actually get what we deserve, any of us? You see it every day on the news. People lose their homes, their families, their children, their very lives. Do they deserve that? Is every loss they suffer justified? Of course not. What do you think?
No. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, this world we live in is not fair. And I don't mean the natural world. The boundless nothingness beyond the stars. The ever-expanding universe has no concept of fairness. Fairness, justice, even basic morality. At both macro and microscopic scales, none of it matters in the slightest. Fairness is a concept we created. We built it much like we built our houses, our communities, and our nations. There is no universal capital J justice. And so, by that logic, I say it is not fair that a handful of individuals hoard the wealth of the world. That wealth determines everything. It determines who lives in the warmth and who dies in the cold. It determines where you are born and how you are raised, how you are educated and what career path you take. Whether you live to see old age or pass before your time, is any of that fair? To have it is to live. To lose it is to die. It's as simple as that. And I know in my heart of hearts that things don't have to be this way. We, as sentient beings, have come so far from the first campfire to the first cultivated plot of land. We are living in an age of wonders, of miracles made real. Working together, we can twist the genome and touch the stars. This world doesn't need to be such a savage place. We can make it better. Look out for one another if we only try. After all, regardless of what we do, we're all headed to the same place. Do you ever think about the fact that you're going to die?
Yes.
Me too. And not just you, but everyone we know. Everyone you have ever known or will ever know. Everyone you have ever heard of. It's the one thing we all share. Does the thought of that scare you?
No. Not really. Ollie? Does it scare you?
Depends on the day. I think most of the time I do what everyone else does. I forget. It's so easy to forget that it's going to happen, especially when you're young and healthy. Have you ever seriously thought about your legacy? What you'll leave behind when you go?
I have, actually. I'll be honest, right now it's not much, and I'm not sure how much that will change by the end. Judging from the question, I'm guessing you thought about it?
Quite a bit, yes. Not long ago I had an epiphany. Realistically, my time could come at any moment. And if that's the case, if any day could be my last day on Earth, if any time I waved goodbye to a friend, that could be the last time I would speak with them. I want my legacy to be one of kindness and joy. I want to be as caring and compassionate as possible to everyone I come in contact with. I want to help them in whatever little ways I can. I want to help them live. Help them thrive. Because, well, why else am I here? Why else are any of us here? In the end, that's the only thing that matters.
With a small sigh, Ollie slumps back down into his chair. His eyelids flutter closed, then laboriously open again.
I'm sorry, Leo, but I don't think I can stay awake another minute.
I swallow the lump in my throat, eyes shimmering and stinging. I wipe them roughly with my sleeve and rise from the bed. You're fine, Ollie. It's past time you got some sleep. Here, give me your claw. He extends a claw without even opening his eyes. Pull him upright, lower him into bed, and tuck him neatly under the covers.
I'm sorry for talking your ear off.
I would have listened to you talk all night. I say without even a sliver of doubt.
Still, I got way more serious than I meant to, so I'm sorry.
Let out an exasperated chuckle. No more apologies, Ollie. Please. If you wake up again before sunrise, I'll be here for you. You can already hear the soft sound of his snoring. Turn to look out the frosted window and make eye contact with the silver moon peeking shyly over a blanket of clouds. I'll be here for you. No matter what. You know, I really appreciate all the psychological damage that just happened. Okay, that actually hurt. Well, I'm not gonna fucking sleep tonight. How about all of you? Are any of you going to sleep tonight? Well, stay safe, have a good night, try to enjoy the existential dread, and I will see you all tomorrow.